between technology and also agency side in terms of running projects. We're looking at overcoming the obstacles to mobile. We've got a few, because we had a bit of debate around. The first one was more of a technology issue, when talking about the technology, the operating systems on the handsets, and the fact that they're becoming more of it's a closed shop for developers to get access to APIs and to be able to develop that work. So what we're seeing is the ability to dip into mobile and what I term bits of innovation. So looking at all the different channels, all the different solutions, and saying, well, we can have a bit of mobile where we can have a bit of SMS. But actually what some of the technology guys are saying is they want to get underneath the skin of the operating systems and get the whole thing, you know, the nirvana, the cost, the metrics of the operating system, the passive metering, you know, the ability to trigger surveys based on activity, etc. So real open API stuff is a challenge. It's just quite a deep dive, really. The second one Barry looked at was demand. Client base not being ready yet. And interestingly, point 3, which I'll come to a second, which was about the limitation of us as agencies perhaps not being ready yet either. So in terms of the demand from the clients, the view was mobile has to do more than our other methods already do. And until we can prove that it can do more or give something different, when we're talking about a discussion about GPS, about locations, about the ability to get close to a trigger on a location, until we can demonstrate that and the value of that, then that will be a barrier as well. Also in terms of client budget, many people are presenting mobile, but it seems to be the last piece in the RFP and the first one that's taken out. It's a nice to have. Probably because we're not confident enough, it brings into point 3, we're not confident enough of what the solutions are, or what the options are, how deep we can go, what technology is available, what we can access perhaps, and how it actually adds more than we already have. And if we're not convinced, then we can't convince our customers either. So we need to take more time to talk about mobile as a solution. We need to, what we're tending to do now is lower the barriers, so we're sort of giving the work away in order to get these proof points. And once clients see the proof points and the value, then they get it. But it's quite a hard step to take to give away your work when you could sell something else that you're already selling quite nicely. So mobile is a risk. Someone's got to take the risk, and we've got to decide who's going to be that person. And also then in terms of reach, we know we talked about the numbers of phones here globally. Let's talk about 7 billion mobile phone contracts by the end of this year. How does that fit into the kind of work that you do in terms of representative samples, in terms of whether people have iPhones, Androids, etc.? Can we reach a representative sample based on what we presently do? If we want to reach the general population through CSAT work, then we've got to recognise all the handsets they have, and we've got to come up with a solution that lets us include everyone. So inclusion and reach.
One of the things that mainly everyone, we're quite a diverse group, so 2 qualitative researchers and then quant and trends and foresight and some of the panel side as well. So we all agree as well that it's not something you should just sell in. It's a nice bit of shizzle. You know, you go in and you know, your clients will get excited about it. That's great, but don't just keep selling it in as that sort of really sexy thing. You actually have to, as you say, explain why it's good, and there should be like a few sort of hard and fast pointers as to why mobile is a better way of doing stuff. I was curious to find out whether actually mobile is from significantly more expensive as a way of doing research than online research. For qual it's different. It's actually potentially a cheaper way of doing qualitative, but if it is more expensive, and it sounds like it can be like a more expensive approach, then again that really goes to show that you need to explain what is good. Location and relevance feels like one of the key things that you can explain and sell in to clients about the actual approach and why it's a better way of doing research. Combining them, again, it's not qual, it's not quant, it's mobile. It's combining that world. And that's where I get excited as a researcher, because it genuinely is new ground. And I think we should be thinking about it in a different way completely, because it's mobile versus being just a combination or a mashup of both of these. It literally is a new way of doing research for us, both on the quant and on the qual side. And immediacy. Interestingly, again, talking from a quantitative perspective, it's not necessarily that much quicker to be doing this stuff with mobile. You still have to set it up and collect the data in more or less the same ways. It is way quicker to be doing it with qualitative research. So again, it's a big difference between the two approaches there. And also just being very clear to people and generally clients about who it represents. If your sample is iPhone users, then don't necessarily hide away from that. Just explain that these are the people. You can get the relevance in as a result. It's not there yet where you can address everything, and there are issues which should be addressed. And I think we were talking about, and there's a very good question here, where why are we talking about mobile? There's other stuff going on right now. Why aren't we talking about the fact that we can sync all our devices right now? That at the moment, there's other new stuff happening in technology. We are at a point where technology is moving so quickly, we need to kind of keep one step ahead. That's quite difficult for us as researchers because we're busy doing the research. What we've noticed in the past is there's a lot of technology companies out there that suddenly overnight become research agencies as well, because they've landed on a piece of technology which sort of takes it to new places. I don't know what the answer is, but we don't know what the answer is, but it would be a nice to essentially make it a little bit easier to have those conversations and to kind of be a bit more forward thinking. Final thing, if pulling it all together and filtering the information was another topic we got onto. It's like filtering is very good for us. At the moment, there's a tip of the iceberg, both on the qual and the quant side. How do we make the most of it by filtering it down as well? And that's where we got cut off. But a lot of what we were saying was really resonant with us.
And I think we felt that the demand will mainly come from the client, first off. They will obviously drive that, and for us to be able to drive the demand as research agencies is for us really to trial it ourselves, to do comparison studies, be able to get our own findings, to truly understand it ourselves in order to then drive demand from a research point of view. Otherwise, it will come mainly from the clients and us having to play catch up in understanding or trying to promote the correct way or the right way we feel that they need to use it. I suppose from a product, where's the demand going to come from? I suppose PR, because it's quick, it's qual, because they're not so rigid in the way that they think. Obviously, they think much more openly. So therefore, they're much more open to using mobile as a methodology rather than quant, who are a bit less reluctant to actually take that leap forward. We think that the uniqueness of mobile will be able to drive the demand. So being able to find out something that we didn't already know, we'll be able to reach people in a location at a certain event where we were unable to capture them previously. So I think they were the main things that we kind of captured of where we felt.